Ladies and gentlemen, it is pro wrestling's giant personality, the height of independent wrestling, Mr. Larger Than Life, big time Ethan Higher, and you're watching the Final Count podcast.
This is Mega Mondo, and you're Mega listening and Mega watching the Final Count podcast. Yeah!
This is former WWE and TNA Impact superstar Mike Knox, a.k.a. Nux. You are listening to the Final Count. Keep it tuned. Hey everybody, Anthony Corelli here, formerly known as Santino Morella. You are listening to the Final Count.
This is former WWE superstar Victor, and you are listening to the Final Count.
Hi everybody, my name's Berto, and this is my service animal, Hippo, with our good friend Eric. Eric, and you're here listening and watching the Final Count podcast. Yay!
Hey, it's Eric Ortiz, voice of the Valley from OVW, and you're checking out the Final Count. Citizens, this is Super Z, and you're watching the Final Count.
Welcome to the Final Count. Here is your host, Rymode Mosley, and your co-host, the 502 Ace, Brian Dixon.
What's up?
We're going to get some new audio sometime soon to the top of that show.
We do. We need to get that fixed up because it is not the 502 Ace. And it is, though, however, the GM of BullPen Pro Wrestling, Mr. Neil Allen Brewer. And my name is Rymode. I am the host, the first ever host of the founder. Let's say it that way. The founder of the Final Count. Let's say it that way.
There's only one Rymode. All right.
Only
we all agree. There's one and only Rymode.
Yes. And it is another week of the Final Count. And it's been an exciting week. If you're in the Louisville, if you're in the Kentuckiana area, I won't just say Louisville. If you're in the Kentuckiana area, we are, unless you absolutely have to be at work, and absolutely have a job where you have to be there and treacher out into the snow, the 8 inches, 9 inches of snow, probably almost about a foot of snow now. I don't know.
Frozen wasteland, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it has not been fun being stuck in the house. I don't know if you're like me. I'm not someone that likes to drive out in the snow. I don't have 4-wheel drive or anything like that. Did get out in the snow on Sunday when everything hit. My brother had actually came to pick me up and take me and my sister to church. We did not make it to church. We was on Gene Snyder, and yeah, things got bad. Not bad to where we was like in a wreck or anything, but
That's
there would be a tire replacement. Yeah, it was crazy. But I tell you what, Sunday gave me a lot of hope for people. Like people think that, oh, this world's going to hell in a handbasket, and it probably is in some cases. But Sunday gave me so much hope for the world because like people was getting out of their cars and helping other people. We had a guy that got he was on Gene Snyder as well, going west on Gene Snyder, and same way we was in the same direction we was going, and helped us, get the tire changed and everything, put the spare on my brother's car and everything. And it was like, wow, like he didn't ask money from us. And my brother was going to pay him, give him some money for doing that. And he said, no, keep your money. You're good. Then we get to, we took the outer loop back to my house, and my brother's like, I'm gonna pay it forward and help other people, because there was people stuck trying to get up the outer loop from National Turnpike, and they're trying to get up the hill up there to get to National Turnpike, and we're coming from National Turnpike, and they're trying to get to it. And so he gets out. He goes, "I'm gonna go and help these people push." He starts pushing cars. Next thing you know, I see other people getting out and help pushing cars and everything. I'm like, "Wow, this is giving me hope for humanity." I mean, I was really impressed, for real.
Oh yeah, I mean, whenever it's people are down and out, whenever there's disasters like that, there's always people that are coming in and ready to help, and they don't care who you are or where you come from. They just want to help, and I think that's most people. So yeah, it's good to focus on that.
It really is. It really is. And hopefully everyone's staying warm and keeping heated up. And just hope that everyone, grabs themselves something good to eat and something cold to drink and enjoys this episode of the Final Count. We plan on talking a lot of this was a busy week. Even before the snow hit, this was a busy week.
Dude, it's gonna be a busy early 2025. I'll tell you that. But
yes.
Yeah. So also, starting off,
before we move on, let me just say prayers to LA with the wildfires going on and the fires going on there.
Yeah, good touch for sure.
Sending all prayers to LA. So let's get into it.
Tiffy Time.
Tiffy Time.
I guess that's the message from SmackDown. That's all you can say is Tiffy Time. I'm excited. I think everyone else is excited about that too. Tiffany Stratton did cash in Money in the Bank, becoming SmackDown Women's Champion. Unfortunately, I think it came at the expense again of Nia Jax, who WWE again and again and again just does not seem like they give her the real push or the reign that she deserves, like longer term. I don't know. I'm kind of – I don't really know where Nia Jax goes from here, except round and round and round. I feel like Tiffany will have the belt for a while. I think that's how it should be. But that's just kind of my biggest concern is, like, what about Nia Jax? And I don't know if that's how everyone else feels, but also it's like, is that how you want your audience to feel thinking about, the person that the belt just came off of, even more so than Tiffy will be fine. She's great. Nia, I think they need to try something really different and radical with her. I don't know what it is.
Definitely. I mean, that's a good point. I for one, I have to give it to Nia. This run that she's had with the title, it's been a really great run. I for one was not someone that was, like, oh, Nia's got the title. Yeah, I'm happy about it. Like, no, I was happy about it, but I'm like, I wasn't like overjoyed or anything. She's not someone that I consider that's my favorite or anything.
Right.
But I'm happy that she got a pretty long run, pretty lengthy run with the title. And yeah, you're right. I don't want to see her get, just lost in a circle and lost in the shuffle. Like you said, Tiffany's going to be fine. She's going to be, she has the crowd behind her and everything. She has, I think, the machine behind her pretty much. And I think, I just hope that, like I said, that that Nia Jax doesn't get lost in the shuffle of things. And she was just a toy at this point, but now she's just out here in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. And I mean, Nia did have a decent run and stuff like that. I just feel like, sadly, like, I think when people think back at this particular reign of hers, they're obviously going to remember Tiffany cashing in and being with her. But also, I feel like they just really haven't protected her character well enough. She, I thought, lost a lot of cred at Survivor Series with that whole chair shot fiasco that was going on. I don't know if you saw that, or for those of you that don't know, there was just a really bad chair spot with, I think it was Nia Jackson, maybe Bailey or Dakota Kai. It was something during the War Games match, but it's not important now. But that, like, I would really love to see Nia Jax in more of a, like, epic, longer type of match. Like get a little more fit, maybe work in the cardio a little bit more. But I just think this big, blatant powerhouse, like a movable object, or irresistible force is what they, call her. But I think it's going to take a repackaging.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not Mr. Manager. I don't know what that is, but it's just, that's my biggest thing is like, what happens to Nia Jax now? Other stuff from SmackDown, A-Town Down Under and Machine Guns had a pretty freaking awesome match.
Yes. I love the with A-Town Down Under going and kind of going and lying about who attacked who attacked the Street Profits and everything. I liked what they're doing with that and everything. And then you got or no, that wasn't A-Town Down Under, my bad. That was Pretty Deadly. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. That was last week. I think I was signing wrong, but it's cool.
Yeah. But no, that's something that I've been enjoying as far as the tag division is going on, is the thing with the with Pretty Deadly, the Street Profits, and then you got DIY. And what about this heel turn with DIY? Like, that's
dude, I love it. Like, I was because we had seen the whole, Tommaso and Johnny Gargano are going to go against each other, and that's whenever, like, you get the people that really know wrestling, because they can kind of set up the expectation that, we're going to make them think we're going to do this, but then we're going to do this, and then subvert it like that. And whatever Johnny, like, they did the heel turn together. It was really similar, I think. It's a similar move to what they did with the New Day with Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, making it seem like they were going to split up. But now the two of them are just solidified against everyone else. And I think that was the right way to go both times.
I completely agree.
Yeah, because for so long creatively, it would just never be that way. It'd have to be this rivalry and stuff. And to see, like, Johnny Gargano, like, embrace the heel with Ciampa, they are two of my favorites. Like, those guys are phenomenal in the ring. I've always said that, like, every wrestler is so different and has their own body of work, so I hate to compare, but I do every now and then. To me, Johnny Gargano was like, I almost want to say the second coming, but he is the most similar to CM Punk. Like, he is just, reminds me so much of him, just in how, like, just unique he is, how homegrown he is, just to the vast amount of knowledge he has. I love Gargano.
Definitely. Like you said, I love the way that I think they kind of swerved a lot of people, making us think that we're going to get another Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa on the main roster this time. But I'm glad that they went the other way with the tag team with Johnny and Tommaso, both with Ciampa and Gargano, both going heel. I love it. I love everything about it. Something else out of last week's SmackDown that I want to talk about is the announcement of the match for Royal Rumble for the WWE Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship, or Undisputed Championship, in a ladder match. Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes, American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, in a ladder match.
I will be at that match live. I am going to the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis. It's on my bucket list, going to a Royal Rumble. I've never been to one. And a ladder match is one of my favorite matches. So Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes in a ladder match for that title is like enough alone. Oh my Lord.
Yes.
They're going to tear it down. Do I expect Cody to retain it? Yes. Is that what I would like to see happen? That's a complicated question, because while I do think it is and think it would be good, there's always this renegade part of me that wants them to go totally like shock, surprise and stuff. And I think it would be awesome if Kevin, like, there's no one that can lose that match. I don't care if it's Cody, Kevin, or the audience. Like, we're all going to be winners in that one.
I agree. And now, do we get the match on a level? Is the match going to be on a level of Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels on type of ladder match?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, the ladder match has come a long way, and I know that those are two people that are really going to think long and hard about the whole dichotomy of the entire match and what it could come back to, and just the history of ladder matches in general. So I have no doubt in my mind it'll be a show stealer. If not, I mean, it stinks because it's one of those matches that's like, if it's not one of the best matches I've ever seen, it might be a little bit of a disappointment. But I mean, when it's the Royal Rumble and it's Rhodes and it's Owens and it's a ladder match, I mean,
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be lit. Indianapolis, hold on for the ride. Grab your seats. Oh my goodness. That for me is all that I wanted to really talk about was SmackDown.
Yeah. There's a lot more.
SmackDown?
No. I mean, good SmackDown stuff. Moving on, but Raw making its Netflix debut, babe. That's the next thing that we're at. That was. What did you think overall as a show? You start this one, Rymode.
Oh my goodness. I have to say pay-per-view-esque. If I give it a rating, I wouldn't say it was perfect. I'd say about a 9 out of 10.
I think that's fair. I think that the opening segment movie they did, some people were critical with Triple H narrating it. I'm cool with that. But like the fact that they were using words like shoot, work, face, and heel in a wrestling promo for the first time and really showing what it's about, it's just such a moment to sink in how much the industry is changing right now, just quickly, to where it's becoming so mainstream that, like, I mean, everyone's a smark nowadays, you would think. But on the big white sheets and then the explosion and it dropped and Triple H was in the ring, like, just one of the best freaking openings to a Raw, I thought. And I thought it was a great transitional video. The show as a whole, yes, I did think is good. I think we might have to slug it out a little bit because I know you probably had some strong feelings about the Hogan segment.
I did. I did. I was like, for real, you are seriously booing Hogan? I mean, look.
Yeah, they're booing Hogan. So, like, it's one of those, look, I'm not going to hate. I'll say I was at an event where I've seen Hogan live 3 or 4 times. I was at the SmackDown whenever it was like in the 2000s in the Ruthless Aggression era where Vince McMahon like busted him up and made him sign his contract in blood at Freedom Hall. And I was at WrestleMania 30 when Hogan got booed out of the entire arena because he called it the Silver Toe instead of the Super Toe in that opening segment. And I mean, we just rained on him. I don't know what WWE was thinking with that segment with Hogan on Raw. Like, Hogan is generally unpopular for a plethora of reasons. Some deserved, maybe, some not so deserved. People can let stuff go and stuff. But, Hulk's a cool guy. But it was just so odd with him promoting his beer because I think, wrestling fans are feeling a little sour on the Matt branding and stuff like that. And even, my cousin just texted me. He's like, it's so funny. It's like, oh, yeah, Hulk Hogan all of a sudden from say your prayers and eat your vitamins to, hey, kids, drinking beer is cool. It's like, what are you doing, man?
Exactly. Like, I get that. And I'll go to another point on that kind of thing with Hogan. Like, Hogan's like, seriously, like, I like the man. I'm not like saying like, oh, I'm a big fan of him or anything as far as like, where I was mad at things on Facebook. I was like, man, seriously, you people in LA suck for booing Hogan. And I'm like, I get the reason why, but he has apologized for it's not. And I'm going to go another thing. It's not because of the political stance that he held.
Really? I actually think it was because of that. I might be wrong, and I'm not saying it's right or whatever, but I assumed it was his political stance that got him booed. It might be, the other thing you're talking about, but I honestly, I think it's a mix of everything. Really? Like, I think he is just kind of this relic that's representative of a very different era in wrestling that's, not so looked upon anymore. And that's something that's interesting that, the older generation of wrestlers will have to contend with a little bit just because of kind of where we are culturally. Wrestling has shifted. But it's like, we're not looking back at like bra and panties matches necessarily, or looking back, at some of the things that happened in the past, like lauding it. But at the same time, wrestling has always been reflective of society at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it just shows like kind of everything that happens, it kind of wrestling and its fan base enacts it out socially. It's one of the really fascinating things about wrestling from, just a social and an entertainment perspective and stuff. It has come a long way. But for a long time, people in wrestling wanted, TNA. That's what it was about.
Yeah, it's totally true, completely true.
But it is better now. It is better in our
is.
form than it has ever been.
Yes, I agree.
So yeah, Punk and Rollins had a really good match. Like, I can't imagine that that's the end of their showdown that they had there, but it was, man, legit, 100%. I mean, the promos that they were cutting and stuff, you just know it's just like, man, they're just saying stuff that's real. Like, it's one of those really fantastic times when wrestling and what's real and what's not real just get to intersect. And it's like when Edge and Matt Hardy were feuding over Lita and stuff like that. I mean, it's just the raw animosity of what's there that's when wrestling is at its best, at least, for me.
Definitely, like, it's real heat right there. I mean, and so like you said, that's when wrestling's at its best, when the lines are kind of blurred too, because they have to be getting along somewhere, to be able to put the match on, for one thing.
Well, to the extent that I'm not going to purposefully hurt you, or I'm not going to do something unprofessional that's going to hurt the company.
Exactly.
But besides that, it's like, damn, man. Yeah, like, I mean, things are rough, and they're probably going to be working together for a while. That was a big match.
Definitely.
CM Punk did pick up the victory. That's
gonna
really
be a hard one to top.
Decision for me. Like who I think should have won that match and why is really difficult, but I can't say that they made the wrong choice. That's for sure.
I agree. I'd have to agree. I'd say that was the match of the night. I have to say that it's going to be a hard one to top. The series is going to be good. The rivalry, the feud has been good up to now. I can only hope that it's going to just intensify.
John Cena entered the Royal Rumble officially.
Yeah.
So,
and his promo was freaking amazing.
It was fantastic. What were your thoughts on the final boss not being the final boss anymore?
I thought it fit, just because, I was kind of, I'm not going to say I wasn't confused. I thought it fit as far as like the opening segment, after Triple H and that opening segment there.
Right.
I felt like that had to happen. And I've heard I've seen some videos rather this past week talking about maybe the reason why they did this, because with the Netflix debut and everything with that, and people, who are not wrestling fans just watching Raw for the first time, they see Dwayne Johnson on there. They don't know that he was the final boss last year because they're just now seeing Raw,
So you think possibly that final boss is something that they could revisit, or he could still go heal it? Because I hope they don't ditch all that for good. Okay, you do make a good point there, though, that it's kind of on a global scale for the first time, so they don't, how they're presenting it to everybody in this way, it's kind of a soft reset or something like that. But it is true. It's just weird to think about that. Just the number of people getting to see Monday Night Raw is off the chain compared to what it used to be globally. I mean, it's crazy. And one of my favorite things is that now that it's off the network and it doesn't have like that exact time crunch anymore, there can be a few minutes there. It's like, how many times have you been watching like a cool main event and you see it's like 10:57, so you're like, oh well, something's about to happen or it's all gonna fall apart. Like not having that knowledge anymore to be like, man, this could just keep going for a while is so awesome. So awesome. And that's something that wrestling shows really haven't had before. Like when you think about that, this is like the first time that a major wrestling show has had, a cutoff time. Yeah, when we're finished. Like
it's as a wrestling fan, it's so cool to be able to see that. To be able to, like you said, not worry about that. It's 11. Raw should be off by now. Oh, wait, they can go to 11:05 is what the channel guide says. Yeah. Nope, not no more. If it's 11:15, it could go till 11:30. You know, who knows?
I mean, I don't think there'll be too discrepancy, but I mean, I think that means every now and then, they'll have a banger that goes for a while, or they might cut someone short one night, It's just, it's really exciting that they have that level of unpredictability that they can introduce into whatever story they're trying to tell or however they're trying to end the night. Yeah,
definitely.
News-wise, I didn't catch it. I will try and watch it more now that it's on Max. I do have a Max subscription, but I do think it is worth noting that AEW and its content is now on Max.
Yes.
You have a Max subscription, you can watch AEW now, and they're not storytelling wrestling shows, which is cool. So where are you right now, Rymode, on AEW? Are you... Like, I was just watching the pay-per-views pretty much through 2024, mainly because Daniel Bryan's my favorite wrestler of all time. And, I just wanted to follow him and stuff. They do have some great matches, but the novelty really is wearing thin of, like, the freaking every match has, like, 7 false finishes and goes forever. It's just, AEW is a picture-perfect story of how too much of a good thing can be bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I can watch it, but it's like I had it on Wednesday night, and it doesn't keep my attention. I can tell you that much.
Yeah,
it doesn't keep my attention. The thing I was watching the other night was MJF and Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah,
Jeff Jarrett's saying he's going to chase the AEW World Title. Like,
sure.
Yeah, like it's 2025, brother.
Well, moving on. Yeah, I guess even for the AEW's on Max, I am going to watch Wednesday night AEW. I'll watch this next one, and I'm going to track its story. And the next time we have Final Count, I will try and give a positive insight into what's going on in AEW. We'll see. I can't promise though. I will have to give my unvarnished opinion.
I'd rather have TNA on a national TV somewhere. They just need a TV station nationally or internationally too.
How do you watch TNA right now?
I can't watch TNA right now because of I was able to watch it when they had the YouTube. Like I think it was like
like what network on that? Like how would anyone watch TNA right now?
So with TNA, you'd have to have I forget the name of the network that's on right now. It's slipped on my mind. But you can have the TNA Plus app. You can have that, but that's like
okay.
I think it's pretty up there to buy that.
I mean, I imagine so. I mean, you would say that TNA is the promotion. Like, if I got this zeroing scale wise, so you got WWE, AEW, TNA.
I'd say so.
Like, would TNA still be above NWA and Ring of Honor?
I'd say yeah, still above TNA or NWA Ring of Honor. Yes. Maybe, but then I don't know. Then because with AEW and ROH being kind of under the same umbrella there,
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult to say now.
Oh gosh. It's all right. We're going to have to talk about it anyway. OVW, man. What a week. Or what a few weeks or days or Oh my gosh. Can we talk about the Nightmare Rumble? Are we talking about the Nightmare Rumble now? Is this happening?
A Nightmare Rumble, yes.
All right, we're gonna do Nightmare Rumble. So many mixed emotions, man. Congratulations to Haley J for winning the women's. I was going for Sophia. I had hope when she was a re-entrant that she was going to do that. The women's rumble as a whole was solid. There was a stretch. Did you watch the Rumble, Rymode?
I did.
So, there was a stretch for like 6 to 7 minutes where the only people in the match were like first time appearances that nobody knew. And I thought the entrant order was kind of weird. It seemed like they left them a long time in the ring, and you just kind of felt the energy got sucked out of the room for a little bit during that. But it came back in the end. Haley J was cool, and that was awesome.
Yeah, the women's rumble did kind of leave something to be desired. I did like that Haley won.
Yeah.
The only other person besides Sophia Rose and Freya Slaya I feel like Freya got kind of done wrong in that too, really, because I feel like she should have been in there longer than she was.
Yeah. Are you gonna say risky?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone does that. Like Sophia Rose and Angelica Risk. I'll put this disclaimer with anything, man. I'm an OVW every week. I'm an OVW super fan. Everyone knows me. I love OVW. But, I'll be honest just about how I feel about certain things. And Sophia and Angelica Risk, for whatever reason, good reasons, I don't know, I don't think have gotten the push that I would have liked to see or the program. I hope that's changing. It might be, especially with Rise this next week, but we're still at the Rumble, so we'll get to that in a second.
Yes.
But Sophia Rose and Angelica Risk have really, they always freaking crank up the heat, man. Especially Angelica Risk. Like, I really think that you could put them in a program, do something, but the women's division has needed kind of a shake-up since Bad Girls Club, has been gone. J-Rod is an awesome champ. She's probably one of the most over champions or people in the entire promotion right now. Like, people say, honestly, if she wasn't in the Revolution, she would be the most popular person in the entire company.
Definitely.
Which may be true. But, something in the women's division needs a good little shakeup.
I think we need, more mainstays. You just have these people that are coming in here, coming in there, coming in here, coming in there. And it's hard for people it's hard for the fans, for us, the fans, to get behind someone that's just new. And you're just going to see her this week, but not the next,
Right. And it's like, if you're not going to give these opportunities to these girls or these women who we have seen freaking tear it up on Overdrive, on the dark matches, just turn in night after performance and just doing job after job. It's like, give them a break. They deserve it.
Yes.
What else? Oh yeah, we had Super Z. Super Z. New champion, dethroning Star Rider, Mr. I Know Where My Head Is, because that's what he insists on showing. Everyone, I have a brain. But yeah, Super Z is the Country Boy Brewing. Is that right?
Country Boy. No, that's the media championship.
That's the media, right? Yeah, Dustin Jackson's Country Boy, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, we'll still get to that in a second. So Super Z having his first singles gold. That was fantastic.
With the Rush division.
Men's Rumble.
That got interesting.
Yeah. So Vince McMahon won a Royal Rumble one time in the WWE. We kind of goes,
Wait a minute. Are we comparing Leather Daddy Doug to Vince McMahon?
I think I kind of just was.
Oh no.
it's just sacred. I always love the Rumble, and Leather Daddy winning is it's a choice. I think one that could have been spent on someone else. That's just my personal opinion, especially in promotion like that. And like, I get it. Like, I understand what they're going for in the story, and ultimately that might pay off for someone down the road. I'm just saying that it's like the Rumble is such a sacred moment that to do anything than try and lift a talent up, you really need to have a phenomenal arc and a phenomenal reason for doing so. And I don't think that the arc or reason is phenomenal. I think it's pretty basic. They might prove me wrong, but it's like, Doug Basham, was the re-entrant and won. But it's so interesting because I'm going to call back to the Halloween episode where they had the match where it was like the random selection winner and stuff. And Doug Basham got busted for basically cheating on it and stuff like that. So when we're at the Rumble and they do the random re-entry and it's Doug again, I'm thinking, well, who's going to stand for this? He cheated like this before. He did. But then it was like it legitimately happened and he came out and won. It didn't sit right with me.
No.
And I was okay with that until the last match happened. Rymode, you want to take the last match? I kind of broke down the men's Rumble in a nutshell. Before we get to the main event, sorry, really quick, I will say about the men's Rumble, Donovan Cecil, he was my pick to win. I thought he was going to win, was underutilized in that match, as were a lot of other male talent. Overall, pretty good Rumble match. I think I actually like the women's Rumble match more. But yeah, main event title match, Rymode. Why don't we?
Well, before we run into the main event title, let me just say I did enjoy seeing the fact that we found out some answers to who attacked Mick Foley.
Oh yes.
When we got Jack Vaughn is in the ring and he's doing his thing, delivering clotheslines, and next thing we know, Dude Love's music hits. So it's not Mick Foley, but it's Dude Love comes and arrives to OVW.
And I checked that off because I will say, and thank you, OVW. I'm saying some critical things, but thank you. One thing I never thought would ever happen was I would see Dude Love live.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, check that off. Never thought that box would go, but all right, I'll take it.
So Dude Love reveals that it was Jack Vaughn, Mick Foley's favorite wrestler.
Mrs. Foley's baby boy's favorite wrestler, right there, the shirt.
For sure. I mean, why does he attack? Why? What was the reasoning behind attacking? And I guess we'll get into that during Rise, but
we'll talk about Rise. But that did happen during the Rumble, and that was a cool spot. Dude Love comes out. He says Jack Vaughn is the one who attacked Mick Foley. So, all right, we got that. We'll get back to that at Rise.
Yes.
We're going to the main event now. So after this men's Rumble, which not OVW super fans, for the Rumble, at least this year, you get a key, and it's basically like a cash in. You can turn the key in, or it's a not Money in the Bank briefcase is what it is. Not that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So Doug Basham wins this, and we have our main event, which oddly is EC3 versus Cash Flow. And the only reason I say oddly is because it seemed like recently that they've been trying to turn EC3 face.
Yeah.
But then they put him against the number one face in the company, which is okay. So they had a match, and JBL got involved. Pretty solid work from both people, and JBL clotheslined them both. I don't know why. There really wasn't a reason given. I guess he was just feeling frisky. And out comes Leather Daddy. I know Chris is freaking doing a happy dance at this point.
Oh, we've already seen it. Yeah.
Cash is in, and Doug Basham becomes OVW champion, ending EC3's over year-long title reign.
I'm suing them at the hands of Leather Daddy Doug and JBL, the cabinet.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
cabinet.
So you have a legend coming in. It's a really cool spot. I don't know what that does for the promotion. Like this is a move that makes me think, like, is EC3, are we just not going to see him again for a long time, if at all? I'd be surprised at this point. I don't think we are. I would hope not, because that was just kind of a, good old burying act.
Mm-hmm.
But Doug Basham ends. OVW National Heavyweight Champion.
The national heavyweight title, they've kind of made it a title that kind of goes on minus cash flow. I take that back. I won't say minus cash flow because
Cashflow had it. Mal Kadeen is the regular champion. He's nowhere. I don't even know where he is right now.
What it feels like is they're putting the national title on anyone that has that national, like that nationally known
recognition,
kind of recognition to them.
Fair enough. I thought part of the promotion was to bring people up to national level recognition.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm just going from what I'm saying,
So here's the issue. Why I'm pausing is I would say so many of my feelings of what happened in the Nightmare Rumble would hinge on what would happen at the following episode of OVW.
Right.
But we've been and done that, so I know what's happened. So now I really know how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we had the Nightmare Rumble, first Raw on Netflix, and then OVW Rise, January 9th edition.
Yes.
Where would you like to start about that last night, Rymode?
Oh my goodness. Let me see. The top of the hour, the top of the first hour, I believe it was, started out didn't it start out with Doug and the Country Boy Brewing media champion, Dustin Jackson.
So to be in the audience that night was to really have a genuine experience.
Yes.
I'm just gonna say this. It was kind of a letdown experience, and I'll explain why. Because they do so much. Dustin Jackson is a phenomenal talent. He deserves to have this belt.
Yeah.
Since he has won it, he has been, I feel, really pushed to the side. He hasn't really been able to come out, have one promo celebrating it. He really hasn't had much of a win. So I was excited in this segment when we started out, because it's like Doug Basham has the top title. What are we going to do now? Now you have Al Snow is finally coming back. It's like, okay, great. You're here again. Dustin Jackson's coming out. And in the opening segment, they complain about Doug Basham not being a fighting champion, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, he needs to be a fighting champion. So they have this match between Dustin Jackson and Doug Basham, because like, oh, we need a fighting champion. But here's the thing. The belt was not on the line.
Right.
But here's the other thing. Everyone in the fan base didn't realize that, because technically, while they didn't announce the following contest scheduled for one fall, and it is for the top, you just had a segment talking with Al saying we need a fighting champion and all of this. So the natural conclusion you're going to draw is he's putting the belt on the line.
Right.
Dustin Jackson wins, and myself, people lose their crap. They're so excited. And then they realize, oh, the belt wasn't on the line. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, it's still like we're okay, but that's what we really thought was happening, because that's what we thought the whole segment was for.
Right, right.
So that felt a little eesh, but, we kind of put it to the side. What we couldn't put to the side was the second hour, when they brought out Dustin Jackson again to wrestle Doug Basham again, to beat Doug Basham again in a match where the title was not on the line again.
Again, yeah.
And somehow Dustin Jackson became the first person to beat the champion 2 times in one night and not have any sort of title shot. The booking decision behind that, I don't know what goes into it, so I can't say. but it was a head scratcher, and it was really upsetting, kind of, because it was just like,
Definitely.
what is happening? Like,
Right.
why? Why?
Like what? Yeah. It's like at least the second match should have at least been like for the shot at the title or something.
And even if you take it right off of Dustin,
Yeah.
like how awesome would it have been for just him to have 2 belts for like a minute?
Exactly.
Like he would have deserved it. And that's what I was saying. Like, oh, yeah, I was like, oh, what do you think's gonna happen? It's like, oh, maybe they are just gonna throw it on him. It'll just be this huge, crazy upset. People will remember it. It'll be this happy thing. And it's like they could have really utilized that for something.
Yes.
And instead, everyone's just like scratching their head, like, what the crap?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really, I don't know. It made little to no sense.
Something that was interesting to me as far as backstage segments goes, after Doug lost that first match, we saw backstage segments. I don't know about the fans in the arena or anything, but we saw a backstage segment where Doug was talking to the Revolution members in the back, and
tearing them up.
He was tearing into them pretty much. Yeah, and
no, and that's good. That's an interesting. It adds another dynamic to the story and stuff like that, which is something that the Revolution really needs also a little bit. It's been like, gosh, and I'll just add one more little comment in here. Can we get some individual music for these Revolution members, please? Like, if they come out as a faction, I get it, but we have to listen to the Revolution theme song 15 times every night for the group and every individual. It's like, you can get AJZ his own song, man. I know you guys can. Anyway, yeah, that's my other bit.
Well, I have a little bit of a banter, and I kind of brought this to your attention last night. And I'm not happy with one. Actually, let's say 2 people known as Beaches and Cream. You see, Mr. Hush, and Jay De Niro, Tony Evans and Jay De Niro have been violated. Not only with the Cream, and yes, I'm done with the Cream. The Cream is gone. The Cream is being banned. We told you last
time. With you, Rymode. You're not done with the Cream. The Cream is done with you.
The Cream is banned. There will be no Cream in 2025. And I'm done with the violation of my brothers, Jay De Niro and one Tony Evans.
Your bros.
My bros, yes. I'm done with the violation. The violation needs to stop, or else.
You just mean the losing the door. You're talking about that.
I'll go to the board of directors of OVW.
Yeah, we'll see if they announce that or do anything with it. I mean, that would be cool. It's been a pretty hot topic among the fan zone. Yeah, whether the whipped cream should stay or not. So I mean, that's in OVW's hands right now, baby.
Yeah. It really has. It's a hot topic in OVW right now.
So yeah, we'll see what happens going on into next week. I'm very interested to see where they're going to start building with Tough Love. I mean, Doug Basham is still the main champion. We have Mount Kadeen, who's the other OVW champion, who's kind of MIA the past couple weeks. Don't really know what's happening with him. We know we've got Haley J and J-Rod coming up. Mm-hmm. But other than that, a lot of the direction is kind of like, I don't know, anything could happen, which is, exciting, on one hand.
I think something that we will see happen, though, is probably going to be some type of a maybe special guest referee match between Jack Vaughn and Cal Hero with Dude Love being the special guest referee.
Dude Love, really cool segment. Apparently, Dude Love's favorite wrestler is Sophia Rose. I'm glad that she did come back to Sophia again. They did a little call out for her and stuff. But follow that up. Follow that up by putting Sophia front and center in this women's division for a second. Like, give her shot at J-Rod, man. She has more than earned it.
I agree.
Now, Jack Vaughn claims that he is innocent in this whole thing with Dude Love. Interesting segment. I mean, Vaughn did end up attacking him. That was pretty wild seeing that. Dude Love had the photo evidence. It was kind of hard to see. They didn't put it up on the screen or anything. It was like a little picture he was holding up. But golly, Dude Love, man. Getting to see him and all the segments that he cut with Super Z. Good Lord, who else did he do? What he did? Yeah. It's just so awesome to see that and to see him there. And I'll give props to JBL too at the Nightmare Rumble for commentating the entire show.
Yes.
That's cool. That's
His
really
commentary is gold. I love it.
Yes. His commentary is definitely gold. Love JBL.
Overall, like, what an exciting week in wrestling. I mean,
It is, man. Tensions are high in OVW, man, with Revolution, what's happening with it, what's going on, who's in the front. People in the fan zone and OVW, they care. And it's obvious. And so we're going to keep being there every week, cheering, booing, whatever it is we're doing.
Definitely. Exactly. What other news topics we got?
Oh gosh, what else? We talked to the AEW on a Max. We had talked about one talk about on the wrestling scene recently has been the art or lack thereof, I should say, of the finishing move. Mm-hmm. I think that is really kind of an interesting topic of conversation nowadays because it is a good point. It is rare kind of in any promotion that there is this sacred protected move that once hit will finish your opponent and put them away. It's always been an evolving art form. Jake the Snake started with the DDT, Bob Backlund, sleeper hold or the chicken wing.
Mm-hmm.
All of these moves eventually become more transitional moves or regular moves. But in this day and age in a promotion, what is it going to take to really bring back the finishing move? And it's something that promotions and bookers, especially in the independent scene, are really going to have to start asking themselves. And it gets so interesting and touchy in that subject because you want to give a wrestler the creative freedom to express themselves to a certain extent, but you also can't let them run the show, and you have to maintain continuity for whatever promotion you're running. So it's like, I'm thinking it's like, do I want just anyone just hitting frog splashes or elbows or kicking out of them or super kicks or clotheslines, which can be finishing moves? I don't know. There is a thrilling thing about having a good solid finisher, but there's also a really good thrill of having a finisher finally kicked out of.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in order to have that thrill, you have to have a finishing move that isn't kicked out of in forever.
Exactly.
And so in the world of ring psychology right now, when people are trying to figure out how to do it, it is talking as someone that is booking wrestling right now. It is a very fine line to walk.
Definitely. I think
that's you go ahead.
Not only as promoters like yourself, but you also have to, the wrestlers need to, like, when they're at shows, communicate and talk to each other. Are you using this move? Oh, okay, you're using that. I'm not going to use that in this match. Maybe we go 2 or 3 matches without seeing a super kick. Maybe we go 2 or 3 matches without seeing a clothesline or a frog splash, whatever that might be, or power bomb. Power bombs don't even put people away.
It's so funny because it's like you have like an educated fan base so much that like they themselves are, all right, we need to be desensitized to some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So we can be impressed by it again.
exactly.
And it's true. It's weird, but it's true.
It's true. Yeah. 100% is like, and it's just something that, like you said, we as a wrestling, you as a wrestling promoter, wrestlers, people that are in creative and putting together wrestling shows need to get that figured out. Like, where do we draw the line at? Where do I, like you said, where do I draw the line at? Yes, I want them to be creative, but where do I draw the line at? Saying no, we're not going to have you do this, we're not going to have you do that. We already got this set aside for this match, for this main event, for this.
And in my opinion, like, I guess as like a GM or promoter, my job is to have everyone who's on my card or roster is to hide all of their weaknesses. It's to know them and not display them, and display only their strengths. And it takes time to really get to know people on an individual basis, especially whenever, so many are independent contractors and stuff like that. But yeah, no, it's an exciting point of conversation. It's interesting, but the art of the finisher is something that I think promotions are really going to have to start asking themselves about, because it's something that's starting to be noticed a little more and more. And it's like also with Cody Rhodes, like, it takes 4 crossroads to like beat Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, but it takes like 1 or 2 crossroads to beat someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And, all of a sudden that's going to put them under. It's like, well, what's the quantity here and how do we do this? And it's just, it's getting to a point where wrestling continuity can't really reset itself as much as it normally does.
Yeah.
It's got a bigger fan base than it ever has, and it has a more educated fan base than it ever has in the art of wrestling. And how promotions will continue to contend with that is going to be a fascinating thing to see and discuss, through 2025.
Exactly. It sure is. Like, that's very, very true. Well, I think with that being said, what do you say we it's been a great week of wrestling, a great topics this week. I'm sure there'll be more topics next week, a great show next week as well.
Absolutely, man. Pay some bills.
Do what?
Said pay some bills.
Yes, we're gonna pay some bills, but also I want to remind fans, do not forget to check out this week's spotlight. It is going to be a hot spotlight. It is going to be a great one. This coming up Monday. Check out our interview with the one and only former WWE referee, Jimmy Corderas. This was actually recorded back in December, and so we're going to be premiering it on YouTube on Monday evening, a little bit before Raw. So probably about 6:30-ish. So yeah, don't forget to go to YouTube and check it out, either during the premiere or go back and watch it at a later time, whatever is convenient for you. So yeah, I just want to plug that real quick, and we'll go ahead and pay some bills. Let me cue up some music here right quick. Always got to have that.
I know.
Background music.
Looks even weirder.
Right. All right. Don't forget to go to callandelbowbrand.com and use our promo code FinalCountKY to save 10% at checkout. Again, that's callandelbowbrand.com. Use promo code FinalCountKY to save 10% at checkout. And speaking of Collar and Elbow, with more on Collar and Elbow, I'm going to throw it to our good friend, the one and the only Mr. Al Snow.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
And there you go. And I'll let you take this next one, Mr. Neil.
Shop at www.shot.com using our personal link in the description of the episode below.
Yes, yes. And you can head on over to jcounty.app.com now to get your official Final Count hoodie for only $45, and t-shirts are just $25. Again, that's jcounty.app.com. Your hoodies are only $45, and t-shirts are just $25. Go get them now. And Neil, you have this one, brother.
Don't forget to check out the audio version of the podcast. You can catch it on Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and iTunes.
All right, and also want to head on over to w.gg and use promo code FinalCountKY to save 10% at checkout. It is your taste buds' favorite energy drink. Again, w.gg. Use promo code FinalCountKY to save 10% at checkout. It is your taste buds' favorite energy drink, and your taste buds will thank you. And with that being said, let me cut this music off here.
No.
I think it's we've paid bills. I think it's time to now start a new segment here called Web Wars Adventures Video of the Week.
Living on the planet Hall. Don't need a snow filter this time. It's actually snowing pretty good. I've got to fix the windshield wipers here on my land speeder. I'm remembering to do this. Man, I think I just saw Han Solo ride by on a Tauntaun. All right, land speeder secured.
It's an Arctic wasteland.
Arctic Wasteland for sure. Be sure to fans go and check out our good friends over at Web Wars Adventures. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, just simply Web Wars Adventures. They're also on TikTok. I believe they also have a YouTube now as well. I have to check out their social media for all of that, for that YouTube page. Go check them out. Go follow them. They're trying to become Disney influencers. And so I'm going to help them out here on the podcast and promote their videos, and they're friends of mine and want to promote them, help them out as being Disney influencers. And so, yeah, go and check them out. And let me just also say, you're a wrestling fan, get out, support indie wrestling in your area, wherever you might be listening, whether you're in Arizona, Indiana, Ohio, Tennessee, anywhere you're at in the world, anywhere you're at in the States, go support great indie wrestling. Support these men and women that lay and put their bodies online each and every night for your entertainment.
100%,
Neil, is there anything
man.
you'd like to say?
No, Rymode. It's been another great week, another good show. Until the next time, namaste.
And I will say, as I say every week, we will see you down the road.